Jai Hind and good afternoon. The phase one of the Gaza peace plan that has been completed yesterday, that is 13th October 2025, 7 days after the second anniversary of the Gaza massacre, which was happened by the Hamas. What happened? Actually, in the 7th October 2023, it was a Jewish holiday, and Beri Kibbutz, which is just near to the Gaza Strip, there was a supernova music festival, where people were gathered over there to celebrate the Jewish holiday, and it was in full swing. In between Al Qaeda, Al Qasim Brigade, the Hamas, Al Qasim Brigade of Hamas. 100 fighters came from there. They, they came by the paragliders and things like that. And they carried out the mayhem and the massacre into the Supernova Festival. 344, the innocent people were killed, they were tortured, raped, and 44 were taken hostages. 34 Israeli soldiers, they laid down their life, to saving that whatever. And they have taken 44 from that Supernova Festival, including the organizers, the dancers, the musicians. They have taken, innocent boys, girls, the women, old people, they have come in 44. But total, they didn't just come to there. The other fighters of Hamas fighters of their Al Qasim Brigade, they went to the other villages. They also created a lot of destructions. The total number of hostages was taken to by them was 251. 251. This is the figure. But four were before this. The hostages of, the Israelis hostages were there with the Hamas were four. The total 255 hostages were there. Out of that, over a period of time in 2 years, 148, they were rescued. And yesterday, which I've given that, the 20 have been released hostages. That works out to be 168 out of the 251, hostages taken on that particular day. 59 was killed by, brutally killed by the Hamas, and some collateral damages, some died. And now, earlier was 59. That is one less than 60, and 28 now they say they have been also been killed because of the torture, the battle, and also because collateral damage. 87 has been killed out of that dead bodies. This is what the figure is. Now, when it happened, the whole world had a lot of sympathy for Israel. Everyone requested the Hamas to leave that. Even they requested, Iran should get into this, because everyone knew that, the way the Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi, all that has started, and it was the proxy of Iran, people tried to pressurize and they said stop it, but they had a feeling that they will finish Israel. They finished the Jews, and they didn't, cede to that. And thereafter, counteroffensive started, and counterattack started by the, when it happened, the whole world had a lot in the Gaza Strip and West Bank by the IDF. That is a story of 2 years, and the world has seen amount of destruction. They have crossed all limits. They were trying to, rescue initially to started with the hostages. Some were, the negotiation was going on in between. Some were released, some were they were able to rescue it. But the tunnel, 500 kilometers, this is as per the Hamas, 700 kilometers as per the IDF, is the tunnel line in which they were hidden inside, and guarded by all these deadly Hamas fighters. And the strength was of 20,000 of the Hamas. That has been killed, 20,000. And as per the Hamas says, about 6,000 has been killed. But remaining is, some says about 2,000 has been left of the Hamas fighters. And out of that, some now says new recruitment has taken place out of the people. That is 22.5 lakhs people of the Gazan. So that is a mark, no one has got authentic, but you just take it about 2,000 to 5,000, the Hamas fighters, so-called. Some are hard, there are some just recruited, just they have joined the Qaeda. But what is the casualties, the Gazans have to give it? 62,614 as per the yesterday, the people have been killed in the Gaza. That this is, the damage or the, killed because of firing by, because of missile firing, by aircraft strafing, there are ground actions. Total, out of that, 17,462 are just children, 14,000 is missing. So that is presumed dead, So it works out to be about 63,000, you take it roughly, is the people who have died, including 17,500 the children. Now, as for the West Bank, because simultaneously they carried out there 904 they have been killed, 181 were the children, 7,000 plus is is wounded over there. Now coming back to the IDF has a total killed as per the yesterday was 913 killed IDF soldiers and 6,299 they are wounded. That is 6,300. 38 is the suicide case of the IDF. That is very surprising. Whether they got frustrated because of this and they carried out a suicide because because they have to carry out the duty inside the Gaza Strip. That is the point, because that has not come up the reason, but 38 has been killed over there. They have committed suicide. That is what. But they're credible because they have 6 front they were fighting, including they have gone 12 days war with Iran. So that is, something very, very, because they were fighting Hezbollah, Houthi, Hamas. Also in Syria, they were carrying out, from where the things were coming, they have to go and fight with Iran. And this is 6 front war they were doing it, including with Syria. Now, the figure, and if you see which is coming now, what is the challenges ahead? Because the phase 2 is very important. Because the Hamas has to lay down the complete arms, including arms manufacturing capability, and the tunnels has to be destroyed. This is the phase 2. Whether it will take place, Hamas will have the stiff resistance, that have been seen. There are other figures. The malnourished child into the Gaza Strip is 54,000 children are malnourished. About 80,000, that is the estimate of the United States of America, $1 billion will be required for the reconstruction. It will take 14 years as of the estimate for the just removing of the, rubbles of, which is destruction. Complete Gaza Strip, 400 square kilometer has been absolutely razed. That has to be reconstructed, and removal of rubble will take 14 years. But if you go on the fast track, 10 years the time, 2035 is the time when, likely to be reconstructed, on that war footing if you go. Otherwise, if you go on the slow pace, 7 decades are required to, complete the reconstruction of Gaza. That is what the destruction says. And that is the challenges. The challenges phase 2 immediately. If carries on, everyone has to cross the finger. And I hope that, the Guardian, especially the Hamas, have got, the sense, because they should take the amnesty, and get away from there. They can go on outside and settle. That has been offered. And the stabilizing force is already there. Americans are there. How best, it can be done. Complete tunnel has to be destroyed, and the, reconstruction of Gaza has to take place. There are a lot of things to do. They will be very challenging and a very, very long road ahead. Thank you. Jai Hind.